Well, let's start. Welcome everybody. As I told you, yeah. Now Emily is gonna talk to us a little bit about Design Lab. So go ahead, Emily.
Hey everybody, my name is Emily. I work on the internal team at Designlab. Thank you so much for joining us today. So in these series of talks, we have mentors who are chatting with us about topics they're interested in or passionate about that work with us here at Designlab. For those of you who are new to Designlab, I just want to tell you all a little bit about what we do here in case you aren't familiar with our community and this is your first time interacting with us. For those who have maybe been in the community, we do have some kind of new and exciting things coming up. So just taking a minute to give you a little more info. First and foremost at Designlab, we provide UX UI design-based education to folks at all walks of life in their design journey. Historically, we've had our bootcamp program, UX Academy, which is for individuals primarily looking to make a switch into the UX UI design field. We offer a couple different ways to move through that boot camp, but it is a really comprehensive curriculum. You work with a mentor like Susana throughout the duration of the course, and it's appropriate for folks who are complete beginners or who even have a little bit of experience but aren't quite ready to take their UX UI design career to the next level. So we offer that course once per month, every month. And we're also starting to offer some really exciting courses for designers who are already in their career that are a little bit more advanced. Right now, we're running data-driven design, which is all about learning how to become more proficient, looking at data, using it in your design decisions, and using it to back up your design choices across, your companies, stakeholders, things like that. And we are running our first course of Advanced Figma coming up next month, which is just designed to help you really take your Figma skills to the next level and learn some of the more complex skill sets within Figma. We also have a ton of different community events. They are free for our students. Coming up this Friday, we have a community event centered around one of our mentors, Josie, speaking about living and working internationally as a designer. She's lived in a few different countries, so she's going to be talking about her experience. And if anyone would like to get in touch with me, you can feel free to email me directly at my direct email. I'm going to put it in the chat. It is emily.gachko@designlab.com. If you all ever have questions about anything, I'm an open door and I'm always happy to help and kind of guide you in the right direction. Cool. Thank you so much, Susana.
Thank you, Emily.
I hope you have a wonderful rest of your presentation, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Emily. All right, so let's kickstart our talk. And today I will be sharing with you some job application assessments that I did in the past. Okay, be aware that I didn't do this last month because we are not always searching for a job. But the ideas that I share with you, the briefings that I got, which is very common for you to have, okay, when you apply for a job as a designer, and what I did. More a walk through the process and how I tackle things. And then I'm going to challenge you to guess if I got the job or not. Some I did, others I didn't. I'm not going to say much more than this. While I present it, maybe I'll give you some clues already. And then at the end, we will see, okay? It doesn't count if you check my LinkedIn, okay, to see my later, okay? As I mentioned in the event page, I don't do design assessments anymore. This was a decision I took like 2 years ago because I believe when you get to a point that you are senior and mature and you have a lot of portfolio and case studies, it feels a bit not very it feels a bit out of place to be asked to do something from zero unless there's a doubt about a certain skill, okay? And I commit to this decision, and actually the last job I got, I said this, and the manager at the time agreed with me, and actually I got hired without doing a job assessment. And they implement this in the company. So it actually made a difference, and I'm actually very proud of it. Nevertheless, I did it in the past when in younger ages, in younger times of my career, let's say, and I think it's nice to share, okay? They are for different positions as well, as you will see. Let me just admit here some more people. Okay, admit. Perfect, okay? So I'm gonna introduce myself a little bit. You already know I'm a mentor at Designlab as well. And then I'm Portuguese, and then I live in Spain, in Barcelona. And then before I used to live in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. I'm gonna walk you through the assessment for the visual designer position at QB, company in the Netherlands, senior visual designer for Travix, also in the Netherlands, and senior UX UI designer for letgo here in Spain. I don't know if this is already giving any clues. Sorry, let's go with it, yeah? All right, so a little bit about myself. Shortly, yeah, I started my career in advertising actually many years ago. I didn't do a boot camp. My training, my academic training is since high school in arts. Then I study in my bachelor audiovisual and multimedia. I learned a lot of things about design as well. I did a professional course after that, like 1 year, graphic design to complement the bachelor. And I worked as a designer for about 8 years in advertising and digital agencies back in Lisbon, such as Avas, DDB, and I work with big clients like Volkswagen, Pepsi, Guaraná, a bunch of other brands that are in Portugal very important. After this, I took a break and I went to take a master's degree in design and multimedia. And for my master thesis, I moved to Amsterdam. I did a program there that gathers students from all over the world. That was called Media Lab at the time, and now it's called Digital Society School. And in there, I started to get acquainted with different methods. I started to learn more about UX, Agile, a bunch of different things that I didn't learn before, okay? Have in mind, it seems like, I don't know your age, but have in mind that designing apps and all of this tech world has boomed or expanded a lot in the last years. When I started my career as a designer, there was no smartphones. So just have this in your mind as well, yeah? When I finished my master, I got myself a job in Amsterdam at the UX boutique. I did a lot of work for Philips. That's the reason why I went to Seattle. I was telling this to somebody in the beginning. After having worked there, I moved into product, okay? You probably know by now that you can work in agencies or you can work in product. When I say product, startups, okay? And I worked at a company in the Netherlands, very interesting. I probably will not say. And then I moved here to Spain to work at another company, okay? Always in product, yeah? Good. So let's start with the first one. And this was a position for visual designer at QB, yeah? QB was a company from Eneco in the Netherlands, and it designed a very innovative product, was a smart thermostat, okay? This also for you to know that to be a designer doesn't mean you will be designing for web and mobile, okay? You can be designer, the UX designer, UI designer, of a completely unique interface with different ways of interacting with, like touch screen, with different sizes and so on, okay? Okay, so the assessment they did, this was for a position of visual designer. Here we have it. Scenario, the UI for Toon is going to be redesigned. Toon is the name of the device. It will get a new brand style, so it will impact most of the screen real estate. New features will be added to Toon as well as part of a new proposition. The task, what they asked me to do. It is requested to create a series, a family of 3 icons, 2 icons of current features and an icon for the new feature, Schoon op Toon. Trash collection is to collect the trash, yeah? So let me walk you through what I deliver, and then I'll also tell you the time it took me, right, to do this, because these assessments, I don't know if you have done any so far, but they can be little or a lot, it depends, okay? So let me just admit here somebody. Right. Oh yeah, the recording will be, sorry, yeah, Vitor, it might depend also where you are based. Let's see, is this for everybody that is breaking up a little? Because I can maybe remove the video and you listen to me. Let me know in the chat. Can you hear me well? Sounds fine. I can
Loud
see.
and clear for me.
Okay, so maybe it's just for you, Victoria, yeah? Good. Okay, let's walk through it. Yeah. So what was the assignment? To do icon sets. Yeah, 3 icons, simple. Yeah. So how did I tackle this? First, in all the assignments I've done, in not so many actually, I tried to understand what I have at hand. First, I needed to understand what is this company, what is this product, what is the icon and icon series, okay? But this is a way that I have to understand what I'm doing and also to show that I do a little bit of research, okay? So to understand the problem. Once I understood the problem, or the context in this case, then I started with my ideation, okay? In this case, I created a user. I didn't have access to research. Most of the times you will not have access to research, especially if it's like a junior position or midweight position, okay? So I kind of formulated the user of this product based on the research, the desk research I've done, okay? Pay attention, this was not a UX position, but I needed to understand who will be my user. Okay, and I comprehend this through going through the website, understanding a little bit how they position the brand, how they would talk, and so on. Okay. Then I understood that this person, a person that uses a smart thermostat and wants to control the energy at home, and wants to feel safe and protected, is a person that cares, okay? And then I created like a link with caring about being good or feeling good and the comfort at home and the management, the efficient management or energy with caring about the world, okay? And I connected this, or I remember, or I created the concept of connecting these with the 4 elements, okay? So earth, fire, water, and air, yeah? Creating concepts is very important when we are doing projects, and I feel like sometimes this is a bit of a struggle for young designers, right? Like, how do I go from one thing to the other? Yeah, what is the concept behind it? Thinking abstractly is very important for you to showcase an idea, especially if you are focused more in visual and UI, yeah? So I recommend you to focus on that. Well, anyways, I did this connection about the type of person and what would be important and how I could connect to this idea and how this idea would translate into visuals, right? So I have here some pictures of earth, of water, of fire, okay? And if you notice, the icons that I have here representing those are just collected from Pinterest. I don't remember anymore. They kind of sort of resemble that, like the water, something that fills in. Yeah, the icons are filled, are blue. I don't know. Yeah, you see my mouse. Air is something that is overlapping, as you see here in these icons, okay? Fire is like intense, it has shadow, is dense, yeah? And the earth, it has like the roots, the outline, yeah? So this was my reasoning behind it, okay? So that you understand a little bit more. Then I went into exploration. It's very important as designers to showcase your ideas, or I recommend you to start always by sketching your ideas. It's a faster way for you to put what you're thinking into a way of visualizing it, and also in the future for you to communicate with others, okay? It's fast and you can play around with it, scratch it, do it again, and so on and so on, yeah? So inspired by my concept and by my mood board, I started to sketch the icons, okay? And I show it here. Then I explore, or I explain a little bit more the icons in the different elements, how they would work or how they could work, showing some variations, also very important in design, different variations, okay? Avoid sticking or staying with the first thing that comes into your mind, okay? Just always explore different layouts, yeah? Then in here, I start to refine it a little bit more, explaining a little bit the concept behind it, like how is it the fire-inspired icons, the water-inspired, the wind-inspired, the earth, okay? This also inspired by the mood board once again. I start playing a little bit with colors, playing with saturation, brightness, and so on. And then I went ahead with using, like here, the red, different types of red, okay, because this was closer to the brands, okay. And then I started to refine after all of this exploration with icons and how they could be and so on. Refining meaning I had a system in place, okay, and the system is using the circles, the white space, okay, what was the measurement, all of these was thought of and detailed so that the icons had consistency, because that's the only thing that will make them a family, let's say, okay? Then in here, a little bit of the final put together of the steps and the variations with colors and so on. And then a mock-up in place, okay? How does it look like, these icons in the actual device, yeah? This device had white and black, okay? So then I added the two versions. I added some attachments of my process, okay, how I started to think about things, how this evolved, my thinking. And at the end, I also add a little bit of the time and effort without putting hours. And this was on purpose, okay? So they would not know how many, this could be 2 hours, 20 hours, 40 hours. It just speaks about the effort I put into each step, okay? I was trying to think today how long it took me to do this, and I think it was a weekend. So let's say it's like between 16 and 20 hours, okay? And I spent a lot of time in the presentation, as you see here. Cool. Okay, now let me ask you, do you think I got the job or not?
I think you did.
What about the others? Yes, 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 yes. Why? Why did I got the job, you say? What is it that I did well, or if you say I got the job?
If I can just speak about it, I feel like you did a really good job of showcasing your process without giving them far too much information, which is my biggest issue right now.
Exactly. So my process, of course, the way I'm presenting to you is different from how I presented in the interview. Okay, I'm doing like a walkthrough, like how I approach it, and not present it like I would in the interview. It was a bit deeper and so on. Okay, it's just we don't have so much time as well. But exactly, it was just 3 icons. It could be like a A4 page just with some sketches, and that would be it, okay? But I went the extra mile, okay? I put all my knowledge, even if it was just 3 icons, I put all the process, all my love into it, okay? And I made it something really solid and put together, right? Even if it's just 3 icons, it was a process that was very stable and put together, yeah? Exactly, I got hired, of course. And I really enjoy working there. Actually, I learned a lot at the time. I was a visual designer, but I work with UX writers, UX researchers, and I started to learn a lot also about research and doing research. At some point I got to be the lead designer for the mobile experience and so on. So yeah, cool. All right, let me see, somebody else here is wanted to join the call. Give me a second. Okay, I don't see it anymore. All right. Good. So let's continue to the next one. Are you ready for the next one? Are you there? Are you with me?
Yes.
Perfect.
I'm ready.
Good. Okay. Let's continue then. Okay. Let me just go here. I see here. All right. So the next one was after a while, of course. Imagine that these things have gaps, yeah, in between them, because I actually then worked in the places and so on. This was for a senior visual designer position. Okay, admit. All right. So the same thing. Let's go through the briefing, yeah? So I don't know if you know this company, but let's go with it. It's traveling. At Travix, we are good at finding you the best deal for any particular date and destination, but what if you don't really care about the specific dates and or destination for your flight? To support future functionalities like search for flexible dates, fly anywhere, etc., we want to improve our current landing pages. Take this page about Europe as an example. As we know, there's a lot to improve. Yeah, that was the scenario. They gave me your task. Design a compelling landing page within the cheaptickets.nl brand. The subject of this page should be Southern Europe. Sorry, this like. And focus on short stays. Make sure to use our brand, but have your own take on it and show vision. Provide us with mobile and desktop designs as we go mobile first. Don't forget to have fun. I did have a lot of fun actually doing this project. Okay, so let me quickly show the page. I'm not super sure if this is exactly the same page as it was at the time, but I feel more or less it is, okay? This is the page that they give me as reference, okay? Just so that you have an idea, okay? All right, so let's pull here the presentation. Don't forget to be muted, okay? Otherwise, we will hear what you're doing. Good. So, again, it was to improve this page, okay? And we had, it seemed like we had a little bit of freedom to play around with it, yeah? So, I started the same process, more or less, to think about what it means to travel. And of course, I investigated a little bit the website and so on. You know, always do a little bit of background research, always, okay? Super important. And I add here this statement that it really resonates, and it led me into creating this entire case study. Business assessment, or however you want to call it. The journey begins as soon as you start thinking about traveling, yeah? And then in this case, I went straight away into the design goals, even though I went to the website and I did some research and I obviously checked the page and so on. From checking this page, I went straight into things I wanted to fix, okay? And then I add them here in a list. I wanted to promote clarity through visual decluttering. I think at the time it was a bit different, but well, let's go with it. Provide focus using progressive disclosure, differentiate graphic elements within a group, talk human with big bold type, promoting inspiring dialogue, enable smart search and content based on location, focus on search as primary navigation, use warmer colors. Photography should show closeness, inviting, icons inspired by the brand, outliner rounded and friendly, primary CTA using brand color. Well, there was a lot of things here that I wanted to improve, okay, for this exercise, and I follow this line, okay, these guidelines. So I did also a mood board here, and the mood board was more to understand like aesthetics in this case, yeah, and I also wanted to go for a brighter color, as I told you before. So these, I remember in here, for example, that I changed some colors. These were not the real colors, but I just wanted like the vibe of the space, the margin, and all of these look and feel, okay? It was not so much about, in this case, for example, here was not so much about the colors, it was more like the space and so on. So I changed that for the mood board. Then I started with ideation, okay? So I started by sketching out what could it be, okay? I didn't add here, I did more sketches, okay? But these are the final ones. Note this, yeah? So I put here the final sketches, okay, on how I envision this to be, and with some notes on the side. I designed this by hand, and then I just took a picture, remove if you have filters, you can make it look like you sketch. Nowadays it's very easy to do this type of stuff, but if you don't have access to design, to sketch digitally, you can just sketch on a white page, and then you apply a multiply filter, play with the contrast, and you can have this effect, okay? Once I did this initial sketching, then I start playing a little bit with structure, applying colors, okay? And seeing how things would start to compose in the page, let's say, yeah? Then I presented my proposal. I had this idea of the website to be warm, inviting, immersive, okay? It was all about the experience of traveling from the moment you start to think about it. Actually, my proposal for them, besides like the UI improvement and all of the things that I mentioned before, was to suggest based on inspiration. So instead of searching for a specific city, we would suggest a specific feeling you would want to have, or a specific type of experience, more experience you would want to have. Somewhere sunny, winter trips, romantic getaways. These to go along with this idea of this website to be some more aspirational, okay, more inviting as well, and so on. As you see, I changed the colors. Like the colors are not the blue, they are the yellow, the purple. As you know, there are also like complementary colors, or they go very well together. They're contrasting, and I explained here a bunch of features. There are some things that while I was preparing this talk that I noticed. In any case, it's always nice to look into this type of work you do. Then I went through presenting the color, typography, okay, a little bit, but at Designlab, you also have the style tiles, right? The icons, I sketch all of these icons on my own. I really like to design icons, actually. I know nowadays everybody's super used to get them already done, but it's extra quality if you know how to design icons, because not all icon sets have all the icons you will need, and maybe you need to create an extra one, so you will want to do that. I also explain here, note that whenever I have an image or a part of the process, very often I explain it or connect it with the concept, right? And here's some components, super high level, okay? And this was it. This was also a project that I did in a weekend. I was remembering about it, and I believe this was also a weekend, okay? So like Saturday and Sunday, because I was working at another place, the entire day on it, okay? So also 16, 20 hours perhaps. All right, thoughts about this one? What was different here, good or bad?
I'll just dive in and maybe suggest that maybe there was just a little bit less detail regarding how you came to some of the conclusions you got to.
Yeah.
And that maybe that would be a reason you didn't get this one.
What the others think?
Yeah.
I didn't show your explorations. What about the shades of yellow and pearl? I think dark shade. You didn't mention much about the research. Maybe it's a senior. Maybe no, because you didn't explain the concept as the first one. Exactly. Okay. So, and I did this after years of experience on the other job. But maybe, I don't know, I was tired. I don't remember anymore. Okay. This was like at least 5 years ago. But what I did here, at the time I didn't understood. At the time I thought, okay, but this looks so nice. It looks better. It looks fresher, more modern. I really like this vision of suggesting people an experience instead of a city, or, you know. I didn't got this job, unfortunately. Well, not so much, actually. I think it was what it was meant to be. In here, I also learned that it was at this moment that I think what I was reflecting about this, preparing this, because I was applying for a senior visual position, and at the moment I already knew more about UX, but UX was not a part of this job assessment. And I think I struggled a lot at the time to go without it. Yeah. And then I kind of just push it into the UI in the visual part without much to it. And this was actually like a moment where I realized I didn't want to just do visual. I wanted to do more. I wanted to do UX product. Okay. Yes, I didn't show the process. Okay. I went almost straight into showing the solution. I didn't show in the beginning my analysis of the page. Okay. Also bear in mind, this is not a UX position, it's a visual. Nevertheless, we need to explain how we reach to things, because I put a lot of work doing the icons, for example. How did I choose these colors? Where are they coming from? Okay, so there's a lack of explanation here. Even though like I was really mesmerized with the end result, I didn't did the walkthrough as I should, as I did the first time. Yeah. Cool. So lessons learned. Yeah, let me see here. Maybe no, because you didn't explain the concepts and process as much as the first. Exactly, Carrie, Amanda. That's so much work. Do you know how many people they asked to do? Usually when they ask in the assessments, they only ask like 3 people more or less. They don't ask 20 people to do an assessment, okay? When you go to this part, it means you are like in the final phase. So it's you against 1 or 2 more people, maybe 3, not more than that usually, okay? And it's also like it's tiring for people, no? Because usually when you are searching for a job, you are also well, depends, but most of the time you're also working, so you have to really invest a lot of energy and so on. That's why I was telling in the beginning of the talk that I decided like 2 years ago to I don't do this anymore. If either it's paid, okay, or if it's not paid, it has to be like something I cannot prove with the case studies and my portfolio and so on, okay? Yeah, well, it's just positions we take, yeah? Do you know how they would change the design challenge prompt if it was? No, I don't know, okay? This, as you see, the page, I think it's slightly different, but it's I don't remember being super different, okay? There's a lot, maybe this is topic for another talk, but there's a lot, deciding on improving things has a lot of implications, okay? There's a lot of thing going on. It's not super easy to make decisions on changing things because there are priorities, there are technical constraints, there are like people availability, I mean, a lot of things, okay? Now let's go for the next one and the last one, that is the senior UX UI position, okay? Artemis, maybe you have an idea on that one, okay? Now, senior UX UI designer at letgo. Yeah. So, scenario, what they told me, okay? Download the letgo app and choose an element you would improve. Guidelines, the test should only take you 2 to 4 hours. You can use the given template to present your results. Remember, we are more interested in the process than in the result. Extremely important here, okay? They were really clear with their request, and you should always consider this. It's more important the process than the result, because most likely you don't have access to the reality of the company, the product. You don't know the research, you don't know the constraints. Like, yeah, you can investigate the more that you can. You don't know what is inside the company, the priorities, the goals, and so on, okay? So it's not so much about the result, but how you get there, how you think, okay? A visual designer is expected something different than a UX designer. A UX designer is hired to think, okay? So showing your process is really important. How do you solve things? How do you take decisions and so on, okay? As a tip for your future design assessments, yeah? Task, then prepare a presentation with the following. Like, they were super nice, huh? With an hypothesis, the expected outcome, KPIs, workflow, key screens with final designs, competitor benchmarks, and any other pieces of work, resources of exploration you've produced, okay? KPIs are key performance indicators. All companies need to make money, okay? That means that they need to achieve certain results, okay? So this is something you should, as you get into a senior position, this is very important, okay? And you will be in a lot of meetings and discussions, and you need always to make sure business needs, user needs, technical needs met at all points, okay? Either is a product designer or UX UI designer, okay? Sometimes I see people in social media and so on saying a product designer accounts for business needs and so on. UX designers also have to do that, okay? It's not like black and white, yeah? Good, okay, so let's go with it. Let me grab it. So I used their presentation as they suggested, okay? And I actually, in this project, they told 2 to 4 hours, and I took it seriously, yeah? I don't know what's happening here in my, okay. And I took it seriously. Yeah, they said 2 to 4 hours, and I downloaded the app, and I went through the app. and I picked something to solve that I thought it would take me 2 to 4 hours. Yeah. What happened was that I submitted that and they told me they expected something bigger. And I told them, well, but you said 2 to 4 hours. This is what I would do. And they'll say, yeah, we say this, but actually we expect you to spend more time. So then I went again and I spent like a weekend as well. Okay, as the others, I believe. Yeah. So also for you to get a little bit of sense of how these things go. Good. So I used their presentation that they sent to me with a briefing. That's why it looks a little pixelizated, but don't. It's not the important thing. Okay. Then a statement: when a user opens the app, either he buys, sells, or leaves without buying or selling. Okay. This was what got stuck into my mind when I used their product. Their product was a second-hand marketplace where you can just post your items and sell it to other people. Yeah, that was it. Then I started by going a little bit deeper into it, okay? And I started by just doing some exercises of how my tweets and putting some questions I would have, okay? So I wanted to try to find a meaningful problem this time. And I will tell you later what did I fix. It's a small one, like the 2-4 hours. And I wanted to go deeper into understanding, okay, which problem can I focus here to solve? Yeah, so I did like just this how my tweets and glued it on the wall. Then I tried to focus on the how my tweets in certain areas. This is just a little bit of the process. And then I end up choosing this one. So how might we provide a continuous buying experience after the user left without buying? Okay, because I assumed, I didn't have access to research or anything, that a lot of users probably will just open app and close it because they don't find what they are looking for and so on. Okay, most companies, most products want your users to keep on coming back. Okay, you want to retain your users. This is a very important very important business goal, okay? And OKR and so on, okay? It's like objectives of the company. We want to acquire new users, retain new users, okay? This is what gives your company money and stability and makes investors putting money into your companies, yeah? So how might we provide a continuous buying experience after the user left without buying? I stated my hypothesis. We believe that by starting a conversation with the user in the homepage based in the user latest searches for all the returning users that left without buying, we will increase the percentage of users that finish the search and buy flow. Personally, I like better to work with a problem statement than with an hypothesis, okay? But it's very common to work with an hypothesis. An hypothesis is just stating that by providing a specific solution to a problem, you will fix it, basically, okay? So you actually go with designing that solution because you believe it's going to fix that. And then you test it, okay? We test everything all the time, always, yeah? What is the expected outcome? We expect that returning users will be more likely to continue the search and buy flow, leading to an increase of purchase items, okay? So what are the key performance indicators? I thought at the time, task success rate, are returning users interested in continuing the previous search and buy flow? If the percentage of returning users that continue the suggested flow is higher than the users that don't, then it's success. Of course, this is like pure... I don't know, okay? Like I was not inside the company. They just wanted to understand if I knew what type of things to measure, okay? Or how to look for success in this case, yeah? So I started to solve it. But how can a conversation start or continue? I took a look into competitors and I pointed down like the main ideas I got from them and that I thought it was important to solve my problem, okay? By talking human, by showing the favorites in the homepage, by continuing the conversation after purchase, by suggesting items in the homepage based on history. So let's start the talk. So my proposal, I didn't got access to their screens, so I just took screenshots and add like what I wanted to do or to interview or well, to add to it. And my proposal was around fixing the problem, okay? So helping users continue what they were doing the last time, okay? We talk to the user in a human and friendly way. We remind the user of a previous research showing relevant details. We do not force a sale. We guide the user and make it easier for him or they to continue with his previous intention to buy. So the proposal to allow users to continue their purchase was simply to pick up where they left. Okay, this didn't exist in the app. Okay, you would just go into the app, and every time you open the app, you do a search or whatever, you go, and when you would return, it was the same homepage again, and you have to start and so on. So my idea was to allow people to continue their research, something that you see a lot in Amazon, all of this stuff nowadays. Okay, this was in 2019. So, oh my God, like almost 5 years ago. Okay. So here you have it. Hey, Susana, we could go, you search for iPhone 6 in Lisbon. There are 4 new items in this category. Show me, not interest. So the user could continue and eventually buy what they are looking for. Okay. That was the solution. Then I talk a little bit, how did I reach this option? I show my sketches. I had another option that was like using a pop-up, but I found it that it was blocking the main navigation of the app, and it could be considered intrusive. Then I had the option 2. That was the option I went with. The homepage is the same. The user can easily access the entire app, so it's not blocking the experience. And the user can see at a glance the dialogue without interfering with other actions. Yeah, so I opted by that one. What's next? Very important to reflect a little bit on what you did, questions you still might have, and so on. Something that is good to discuss in the interview. Yeah, when you present your case. Yeah. Assuming user flow, assuming users follow the suggest flow, how can we check if it leads to an increase in sales purchases? What other type of content is relevant to be suggested? How can we keep the conversation going after a purchase? Is this feature competing with notifications? What can we do for the users that are selling items? How do we start the conversation with them? Topics for discussion with the team. Yeah? Good. I hope I didn't went really, really fast. I'm trying to keep on time. So, did I got this job or not?
I think you did.
What about the others? This one, I did it like, I think the first time I have to tell you, the first time I did it, I took 4 hours, okay? And what I fixed was a button. So they had the secondary buttons gray color, and that feels like it's a disabled button. Okay, so that was my proposal. But I did the entire process, but I just fixed that, which was pretty valid, but they thought it was too little. They wanted something with more impact. So then I did this, and I think it took me also a week and like 16 hours, let's say, maybe a bit less, because I already had things in place. Yeah. So did I got the job? I think you did too. Yes, detailed explanation of the process, thinking around solving. Yes, I see here some people. You name what you would do, why, and what the intended result is. They must have really wanted to give you another chance after the first one. No, it was what they expected. They just wanted to fix something bigger. So what they told me was, Susana, we really enjoy the process, how you work, but we need you to do it for something a bit bigger, okay? Because companies have their internal processes of recruiting and so on, and their own like way of measuring things. Yeah, so I guess they liked me as well. Yeah. Yeah, 4 hours, it was super unrealistic, and yeah, for sure, right? Cool. Yes, I got the job. They fly me in to Barcelona to a nice hotel at the time to come here to present it. And they did me, when I landed in Portugal, they sent me the offer by email. Yeah, so it was pretty nice. Good, perfect. So everybody, if you want to connect with me in LinkedIn, Instagram, feel free, okay? My LinkedIn is my name, Susana Passinhas. Instagram, I write it here just in case as well. My LinkedIn is Susana Passinhas. My Instagram is UX UI with Susana Passinhas. Okay. I'm a mentor here at Designlab. I don't know if I told you in the beginning, but since last year, well, during the pandemic, I started to teach and to mentor. And since last year, I am exclusively dedicated to that. So I work with a couple of schools. Yeah, that's it. So feel free to connect. Let me know what your thoughts. Did you enjoy seeing these case studies, the process, what worked, what didn't work?
I really, Susanna, if I can just say, like, I'm blown away by your ability to sort of change your template to each task. You don't have the same case study for any two projects, do you? They're all different.
No, they're all different. It depends. Well, you also have to understand that this is not projects that I do within a week or a month of difference, okay? This was like with like 2 years in between and so on. It also has to do with that. But I think I always tackle it according to, at the time, what I know, my time, my energy, yeah, a lot of different things. But I don't follow the same process. If you check my portfolio, which I can also add here, actually, if you go to design.com, wait, works.html. Let me know if this works. You will see the way that I'm showing my work is not probably what you expect or what you see nowadays with the junior portfolios, where we have the step-by-step, because in reality, that's not how it works, okay? What you learn and the process you learn is for you to know, or for you to be easier to understand why we do things, why we do this, to do that, to understand the purpose. But in the reality, that's not how we work. We don't have 6 months or a year to build a product, okay? We have 2 week sprints to work on something, and you have to do this maybe for 2 teams, okay? So probably you don't have time to do research all the time. In my last job, I planned research for each quarter in advance, so that I could work when the quarter started, I could work with these results, okay? You have to plan a lot, so you are actually effective and you are actually impacting the user experience and so on and so on, okay? You should tell the story how it feels better, okay? And when it comes to presenting your work, it's better that you are unique and you have your own take on things and show your own process, which is fine, okay? Everybody has their own perspective in the world, their own way of doing things, of solving things. Even though you should follow, or you are expected to know certain things, it's more like, are you doing things with a purpose? This is what is important. And to do what? To reach to what, okay? Show your decisions and so on, yeah? It's okay to be different and unique, and practice a lot your presentations, okay? This is also very important. For me, one thing that always helped me is because I'm usually very passionate, okay? When I'm talking about things and I have all of this emotion, and this is very engaging, okay? It's very different if I was presenting my projects like this to all of you. You probably will not feel the same thing as if I'm raising my voice up and down and smiling and being engaged and so on. All of these things matter, okay? Your body language, yeah? Also nice, thank you, Aileen. Okay, cool, with the website, yeah? Great. Any questions?
Can I'd love to ask you a question, Susanna, based on what you were just saying about body language and all of that. In my job search, I'm struggling to, I think, convey to some of these people that I am quite good at presenting. And I'm wondering if it would be useful to record videos of me presenting and put those on my thing.
Well, I think it's where, for example, two things here. One thing I always recommend to my students and mentees is to practice, record yourself presenting, because you will notice that maybe you have like certain expressions or certain things that are just not working. And by recording yourself, you will know that. I recently, with a student, we were practicing an interview, and she did the entire interview looking everywhere except to me. Okay, and this is breaks the connection completely, and she was not even aware of it because it was just her way, you know. And for me, listen to her, it felt like she was not super committed or really respecting me there looking at her, because she kept on putting her eyes outside the screen. Okay, there are a lot of things that you can improve in when you are in an interview, and using videos to record yourself. Just set up a meet in Google Meets and then present it as if you have another person, or really have a friend or somebody listen to you, because you will see that you have probably things that you can improve. Okay, also, uh, people do try to have like tell a story that makes sense from the beginning until the end. Okay, and having like a nice presentation put together to help you go through things is essential as well. Now, what you were asking me if is you should have videos of yourself in your portfolio presenting the case studies, could be it's very unique. Why not try it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
might give it a go. I was trying a new Loom cover letter move, and now I'm thinking this might be a good way to use my portfolio better. I don't know.
could be. It could be very interesting. I thought about it the other day. I was like, I'm surprised nobody is doing like a video. Nowadays, everybody has TikTok and everybody is on camera all the time. Nobody has a portfolio where they tell the story of their project themselves. Yeah, this could be a very interesting way. And have in mind that people that are looking into your portfolio, they have like 3 minutes attention maximum. They literally see hundreds. Okay, so when they open your website, if there's nothing catchy, or if it's really boring, sorry, but yeah, to read is just a lot of text, and it's like the titles don't say anything, they are not meaningful, you are out in the first minute. I guarantee you that. They will look into the first project. I did recruiting before, huh? Look into the first project. Okay, and your first project that people see in your website should be the best. Okay, your top one. Don't order it by date, order it by, this is my project that is more complete, or I like it the most. This is the first one people should see. Okay, and then really be catchy. Instead of using in your titles research, surveys, write something meaningful. What have you learned in the surveys? 96% of the users, this, and that. And then you go deep into that, into the surveys. Maybe you can have it as a subtitle and so on. Okay. But going back to you, Jason, using video could be super engaging as well, but don't do videos of 20 minutes. Okay. Like, account for this as well. Yeah, think about the recruiters and designers as your users, the users of your portfolio. Know that they don't have much time, they keep seeing the same things, they search for uniqueness. Okay, work with that.
That is so helpful. That is so helpful. Thank you. So helpful.
Sure, my pleasure. Let me see here. What do you I always practice my presentation standing up. I feel like sitting down. My energy. One trick that you could do is to, before an interview or presentation, to do something that is called the hero pose. I learned this in a research conference a while ago. Basically, you just put your hands on your waist, yeah, your shoulders back, and you stand a little bit like a superhero. And this will automatically give to your brain this confidence, this information that you are in control and you are confident. Try it. You will see that actually it really impacts. Okay, good. Let me see. What do you suggest for beginners in this field? What can you do to get the attention of employees with zero experience? Be original. Okay, so do show your work, do show your process, but brainstorm a little bit. Like, what is it that I have that makes me unique? Ask your colleagues. Okay, ask your colleagues, your friends, like, what do you think, what is my characteristics, or what do you think I do different, or what is my best quality? Try to understand what is it that makes you different from others, and is there any other way you can incorporate this into your portfolio? Okay, or if you see yourself like a person that is super into I don't know, like mathematics, your background was in mathematics, can you somehow make it incorporate this in a certain way? What is it peculiar about you or unique that you can bring into the fun that makes you unique? And it doesn't need necessarily to be visual. Maybe it's just the way you write. Maybe if you are a really fun person, or you are into stand-up comedy, maybe you can have really original text writing things. Okay, Not everything needs to be literal. For example, oh, I used to I have a bakery, so you put a picture of a cake. That's not it, okay? Go a bit deeper. Yeah, how for example, you used to work with cakes, you have a bakery. How do I incorporate these to show, because I think it's a big part of me in my work? Maybe I show things as layers, like cakes are done, yeah? Or either like it's like how I show or how is the interaction or the motion of the website, or like how I show text, or yeah, like have fun with this process of creating a concept about yourself, about your own image. Yeah, be unique is what will get you. Okay, have your own attitude. I will tell you a fun story. So one of my first jobs, I think it was like 24 or something. I got to this company, this agency that was very big, average worldwide advertising agency, and I got to the interview. And at the time, I like to code as well a little bit. And at the time, since university, I always did a portfolio every year. I coded myself because I just like it to learn. And I was in this interview, and the creative director asked me, so why do you do a website every year? And I could have said so many things, right? Like to learn or to progress, or yeah. And I just said, because I think it's fun. And I got hired. Okay, so be yourself, show your attitude, do not stress. That's my biggest advice. Okay. Do you mentor students who take Designlab courses only, or I do both? Okay, so I work with Designlab. You can, if you join Designlab, you can request me as a mentor if you want. If I have a spot open, of course. I also do mentoring, yeah, privately, yeah. And I also work with schools, yeah. Good. Any final question? No, not on the top list. But there are a lot of great mentors there. Having a mentor is very important, okay? To help you in the beginning, okay? Many times I think about my career, and I remember, like in the beginning, I wish I had like good creative directors and some people that really guided me. But there was some moments that I needed maybe a bit of guidance that I didn't have. That would be helpful for sure. How to find a good mentor? Read reviews. Yeah, it's like a little bit of UX research. Go deeper into them. Try to understand, okay, is this the right person for me or not? First of all, you have to think, what am I searching for? I want a person, if you want to work in product or agency or a specific country or a specific culture, do a little bit of background information, okay? Research. Everything that you learn in UX, you can apply it in your real life, okay? In your day-to-day life. Yeah? Good. Okay, last question, and then we say goodbye. Perfect. I hope to see all your designs and your websites unique. You feel free when you update them to send me a link into my LinkedIn messages so I can take a look. Yeah? All right, perfect. Nice to meet you.
This was amazing, Susana. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a nice evening. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.